From woo-woo to wow. Bridging the gap between the mystical and the scientific.
The journey from out there to in here.
Join me, Dr. Patrick.
And me, Dr. Rita, as we make the seeming intangible
tangible.
This show will expand your mind.
Open your heart.
And make you say, wow. Aloha.
Aloha.
I'm Dr. Rita.
I'm Dr. Patrick.
And we are here for our 4th episode of From Woo-Woo to Wow. Yeah, where we explore the mystical and bring the scientific to it for everyday living, to bring that mystical to our experiences, right?
Practicality.
Yeah. So
we have an exciting episode.
Yeah, we're so excited because we've invited someone we love him dearly. And he's also a colleague and someone that we just respect totally. And his name is Dr. Eric Overholtzer. And I'm just going to read a little bit about him before we bring him on. He's the associate minister with the Global Truth Center in Los Angeles. He received his doctorate in consciousness studies from the Emerson Theological Institute in 2022. And he has since delved further into the exploration of the mind-body connection through the experiential practice of conscious breath work. Dr. Eric is a facilitator of the 9D breathwork experience, a somatic breathwork modality that is on the leading edge of personal healing and transformation. He continues to facilitate 9D breathwork journeys to individuals, small groups, organizations across the continental United States, and as far as Guatemala.
Yes,
so
indeed.
He is amazing, and we're going to bring him onto the call, and we're going to ask him some questions and get some answers from him about this 9D breath work, which we're doing here at CSL Kaua'i. When is that?
August 23rd.
Yeah.
10 a.m.
10 a.m. You can sign up on our website. So,
Which
anyway,
is CSL Kaua'i.
So here comes Eric, Dr. Eric. There he is.
Hello.
Oh my gosh.
We have
who's with him. Jason. Are you going to have some words to offer too?
Do you have some words as well?
Oh, you're in your
Yeah, I'm on the headset.
Oh, I'm like, why can't I hear them? I'm good. Hi, nice to see you both.
Come see us
That was Jason.
That was Jason.
And Eric, Dr. Eric, we just saw you. Did we not?
We did. It was very nice. Can you hear me okay? I'm wearing earbuds.
Yeah,
good.
We can hear you perfectly, and we're really excited about this.
We were excited because we saw you just last Sunday, right?
Yeah.
I know that was wonderful to see you guys. It really was.
And we just totally love you and respect you. And we're just grateful for you to just come and talk to us about your work that's so important in the world. So
we told them all about you before you came on.
Yes.
All of your background, your education, all of these things.
So I guess we'll start with you're a minister and a doctor of consciousness studies, and that's where you kind of started your work, or maybe not, I don't know. And now you've been delving into this 9D breath work. And how did that happen? Like, what drew you from ministerial to this new journey that you're on? Well, it's not that new. You've been doing it for a while. And
Yeah, I've been doing it for a while. It's interesting. I was thinking about that this morning, and I can actually kind of trace it back more specifically to the day that I did my oral panels for ministerial.
Okay.
Which you were part of that process.
Oh.
And I remember I was driving back from Palm Desert because I knew that I had the panels later that day. And I was thinking, what's the one thing that Dr. James would tell us, that the job of a minister? And he said, if nothing else, our job is to inspire. So when I was driving that hour and a half, 2 hours back, I'm like, inspire? What does it truly mean to inspire? And I love words. And so I thought of, inspire, the origin of that word means the in-breath, to breathe. It's like, to inspire means to breathe. And what was happening at that particular moment in time, if you recall, the Black Lives Movement had just started. And in Los Angeles, there were protests. In fact, during the week of our intensives. It was the first time that we had to do it over Zoom because the world had been shutting down because of COVID.
Exactly.
And I was looking out my window and they were boarding up Sunset Boulevard because of protests. So even then, as I'm driving back from Palm Desert, I'm like, okay, so inspire means to breathe. What's going on in the world right now? The Black Lives Movement protest, which was a reaction or response to George Floyd.
Right.
Yeah. What was the last words he said? I can't breathe.
Right.
I can't breathe.
Ugh.
And what was also going on of why it was in this digital era was because of COVID. It was a respiratory disease. So for me, as I was driving home, like, oh, the world as I know it, as we know it, is saying everything's going to shut down unless we start breathing.
Wow.
And so the importance of the breath. So I think that's where like I really made the connection of the importance of breath. I knew that, you know, breath work has been an important part in ancient practices and traditions for millennia. But I didn't really have a relationship to it. So that's really where I became more curious and started to dive into the practice more as a spiritual practice.
It's interesting that you said that because it really hit home when I went, oh my God, that whole COVID experience and the not breathing and it was interesting because the two things that we survive on as human beings is what? Water and air.
Right.
We cannot survive without air and we can't survive without water.
Well, and, you know, from the moment of what we know of life in this human form starts with the first breath.
Right.
And then it ends with the last exhale.
Oh my God.
So it's that first, and then,
Oh
Wow.
my God.
and then also the other part, which, because, you know, I'm a word geek,
I'm a metaphor geek, so it's
a metaphor
I love metaphors.
of, so back in scripture, you know, in the Old Testament and in the Quran, what was the ineffable word, the ineffable term for God? Before they do is YHWH, the unspeakable. Like we don't even remember. No one knows how to remember it.
Wow.
But take it here. Let's do an experiment right now, and just breathe in through your mouth. And make a sound.
Oh,
The breath is almost the sound of that ineffable word.
wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So to know our breath, to breathe, is to know God, is to experience God. And breathwork is an experiential practice that, you know, gets me into my body. In full transparency, literally just before I was getting on, I was getting some text messages, work related in the design field. And I felt my anxiety creeping up. I'm like, I need to get on this call in 3 minutes. And I've got people walking on floors that weren't cured, that had just been refinished simultaneously. And Jason said, Eric, just breathe. And that's the other part of realizing, oh, through our breath, we can regulate our nervous system.
Well, it's
I
interesting.
do it every time I have to do QuickBooks. I take a deep breath first.
Take a deep breath.
You can hear the noise coming out from her office with QuickBooks. What's interesting today is, you know, our podcast is called From Woo Woo to Wow Wow. And we have had, in the last 5 minutes or so, the most, I don't think I've used wow this much in 5 minutes. So thank you. We got the wow down. So let's talk about a woo woo for a minute.
Yeah.
So a lot of people think that the work that we do sometimes, or all this crazy stuff, we got headset, you know, I've experienced you and it just has been, you know,
The headsets.
breathtaking, and here we are with the breath again. So it was actually breathtaking. And so, to somebody who hasn't experienced any of this, what is this? How is this different than the traditional like meditation or
What are we talking about? The 9D?
the 9D?
Yeah,
that we're doing?
maybe explain that a little to us.
Yeah, I know nothing.
Okay. Well, I still find it interesting with technology. You're in Kaua'i, I'm in Los Angeles, and yet modern technology, we're connecting to have this conversation.
I love that.
So one of the conversations, the introductory conversations I like to have is, in this modern world, we think this is our greatest technology. How would we survive without our laptop or our smartphone?
Right.
We're living in the age of modern technology. But what the ancient cultures understood, the Egyptians, the Indian cultures, they really had a clear understanding that this is the greatest technology, this human body, and that we can regulate this technology with our breath. So with conscious breathing, we can regulate our nervous system. Most of life, Western culture right now, we're living in fight or flight. We're living in the sympathetic nervous system where we're looking out for danger, keeping us heightened alertness. Our bodies were not intended to live in that state constantly.
Right.
But we're living our bodies, we're experiencing the byproduct of living in this heightened state of nervous system, the sympathetic nervous system. And it has its purpose. It activates us. And sometimes through our breath, it's because so much we breathe day to day with what we think are deep breaths, but they're actually shallow breaths, upper breaths, through our mouth. That keeps us in the fight or flight nervous system activated. But just the understanding of when you take low, long, deep breaths through the nose, through the diaphragm, your body automatically starts regulating. So cortisol levels will start to shift, the blood pressure will start to shift. And so with some conscious breath work, we can regulate our nervous system. We're intended to live and to be breathing actually through our nose the majority of the time. They say the mouth is for talking and eating, but really breathing is intended through the nose. And part of it, there are a number of physiological things that happen when you're breathing in through the nose. Nitric oxide, and really through breath work, whether it's 9D, which I'll talk a little bit about, but just conscious breath work, it's all about the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide. And it's about increasing the oxygen levels in our blood system, and then the carbon dioxide, which we think of from like childhood classes. Carbon dioxide is bad for us. No, it actually serves us very well. It's an important ally. So with breath work, again, it's like we can regulate our system with activating our breath work, taking big, heavy breaths. It oxygenates our blood. But what we want to do is we want to get the oxygen levels from the blood into our cellular structure throughout the body. And so by breath holds, where we're now holding the carbon dioxide, it's actually flooding and pushing the oxygen from the blood into the cell system. So there's a regenerative process that happens. And that's all the physiological aspects that's going on. So conscious breath work can be as simple as some low, deep breaths. As I was having, my anxiety levels going up, knowing that I had to jump onto this podcast, and simultaneously something else was going on. And my mind was like, what do I do? I don't know what to tell the other people. I need to get on this call. And the reminder from Jason to say, take some deep breaths. Start with your breath to calm down. And then from there, I get out of the anxiety, that drops down. I'm like, okay, now I'm actually in a cool collective place. Let me make one phone call, get it resolved. So that's one of the benefits of just breath work. A breath work practice is you can do it individually or collectively, the group. But I like to break down breath work. It's intentional breath. We breathe all the time, as we discussed earlier, from the moment we're born until the moment we die, we're breathing. It's something that our subconscious autonomic system knows how to do. We don't need to think about it. But in breath work, we're consciously putting our attention on it. And breathing we do all the time, it's the work. It's a conscious connection. So it's like making the choice, setting the intention that I'm going to do the work, focusing on my breath. And by doing this practice, what it does, emotions will come up. Yeah. It's a bridge into somatic emotional release. Emotions and energy that is within our body, sometimes trapped into our body, gets activated, and we can release it. And similar to as religious scientists, as ministers and practitioners, and when we talk about prayer, affirmative prayer treatment, a very simple way. What is affirmative prayer? It's a conscious movement of energy.
Yeah.
For a specific purpose. This is a specific movement of energy through our breaths to open up and tap into our subconscious, our emotional being and our emotional essence, right. And to sort of bypass the logical thinking mind for a moment, so we get back into harmony.
Well, I know that the 9D that you do, that you're going to do here and have.
Yeah.
I was thinking of the same thing with breath, but there's also, I just spoke to a woman yesterday, by the way, and I said, are you returning? She said, oh, yeah. I just had to find my schedule. But it was interesting that she said that she doesn't like to express herself that much, outwardly, as most of us,
right.
Emotionally. But she said, I said, what did you remember the most? Because we're going on with them. And she said, I remember the screaming that for me, because the breath opened me up, that I had to make a noise and free myself of all of the crap that and I went, wow. Because she hadn't told me that before. I went, oh no, that's a great testimonial. But more than that, with the breath, there's also the sound that we were talking about earlier. So Rita, you were going to ask.
I'm going to ask you about what you're doing here on the 23rd, because you talked about it. It's a different, obviously we have a different one every time you come. And this one is apparently, and please correct me if I'm
sure.
not right, that it's more of it's a psychedelic experience, like without the plant medicine. So I'm just wondering how that works. And there'll be people here that have done plant medicine, and
right.
So what does that mean?
Yeah.
Like what, and also.
Okay. Yeah. So this particular journey that we'll be doing is called 9DMT. Mm-hmm. So let me break down. So 9D breathwork is what we do with the headphones.
Right.
And it activates our system, but they call it 9D because there are 9 different sounds dimensions which are layered on top of one another. So you come in to your center, everyone has noise canceling headphones on. They're on their yoga mat. They're kind of immersed into their own world. And there are 9 different sound experiences layered in. So you'll have a pre-recorded guided coaching. There will be bioacoustical sound effects going back and forth. There's some subliminal hypnotic messaging that goes in. Somatic breathwork, so intended to really tap into the body, soma, the body. There are 432 hertz frequencies and tunings that are played, along with suffragio frequencies, binaural entrainment, a bunch of different sound technologies that it's kind of like a biohack that helps quiet the monkey mind. It quiets down along with the breath, combined with the breath. It speeds up the quieting of the monkey mind so you can really tap into the quiet and have the experience of really tapping into the subconscious. So 9-DMT is sort of a word play, of DMT. So DMT is dimethyltryptamine, which is a natural component found in plants and in medicine, or in plants and some animals. And it is the psychoactive component, which is within ayahuasca, in some of the other indigenous plant medicines. And what that does is it is very similar to, I'm losing the dopamine quality, which is produced within the body. It's a very similar, so it actually activates the levels of dopamine within your body. And when that happens, it's similar to within the pineal gland, is it will open up and activate. Many people will experience a very spiritual realization. Insights will come in, the dissolution of the ego. So it's the thinking mind, and the ego gets put to the side, and it just opens up to a whole other different experience. So this particular journey was recorded really with the intention of really honoring and understanding plant medicine traditions, which has been an indigenous spiritual practice in many cultures around the world, whether it's in India, South America, whatnot. And in today's current modern times, there's some irresponsible or less responsible usage of these medicines, But from a shamanic perspective, from a true plant medicine ceremonial perspective, it's a very reverent process. It's the acknowledgement of the wisdom of Mother Earth, and the wisdom coming in, tapping in to that lineage. And what it does is it's a way that people find that they can connect to their ancestral wisdom. So I know there are many people, which I do agree, that you can reach these states with just your breath work. You can,
right?
That's
what this is. So this is a way to kind of replicate what that ceremonial plant medicine experience is, but just through your breath and through the sounds. And so what they've done is the main sound engineer went down to South America to Temascal ceremony. So
how to pronounce it, because I went
Temascal,
because they did
I kept going to mezcal, like tequila, but it's not.
Yeah,
but it is the Mesoamerican word, and it ties to Mayan and Aztec traditions. But it traditionally is a sweat lodge.
Oh,
so it's
so
it's a round dome that comes in, and there's a shaman, so there's chanting and there's drums and there's music, and people come in with an intention of what do they want to let go of, and what do they want to connect to. So it's a communal experience where people come in, and there's guided by a shaman, and chants and prayers and heat and breathing to tap into their ancestral lineage. Because there are many cultures that understand that there is great wisdom from the past and of the future. And from a quantum perspective, we know that there is no time, there is no space. Yeah. But the Iroquois Nation, they talk about the 7 generations. We carry within us the wisdom and the trauma of the 7 previous generations.
Absolutely.
So by going into these plant medicine ceremonies, or this sweat lodge Temascal ceremony, it's a way to tap into your ancestors, to heal their lineage, to heal future lineages, but also to gain great wisdom.
That's
So,
a lot, isn't it, these days about the ancestral?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's coming up about releasing all the emotional trauma from ancestors.
exactly.
You know,
Yeah. So this particular journey, they were granted, these ceremonies are a very sacred,
oh, my cat.
whoops,
That was quantum.
a very sacred ceremony. But when they understood what the 90 organization was wanting to do, they were granted access to a recording. So this is, with this particular journey, you will hear an actual recording of an actual ceremony.
Wow.
And it's very powerful. It's very sacred. Knowing usually these ceremonies are not recorded,
Right.
but they were accessed that with a very conscious awareness of no spirits were invoked or, to recording of that, but you get the overall experience and the environment. It's a really powerful journey.
Quanta is very
Well, we
interested in this,
we never take her out for it. We just let it be a part of it. It's interesting that you brought up that, because one, it's quite an honor that we get to experience something that was taking place, but something that you said too, and I don't think it's discussed a lot in a lot of the metaphysical work that's done. We're so interested in letting it go, getting rid, that's what people, I got to go to get it out. But I like what you said about plugging in, letting go and plugging into something new. And I think even with our treatments and our science, our work and treatment, is that everybody, we have to remember we need to still plug into something, not leave ourselves completely void, but also plug into the alignment that we always are. And I really heard it saying, oh, is more than just getting rid of it. Look what in ancestrally, it's actually healing our future,
Right.
No time and space. So yeah, I want.
Well, and I think it's also the getting to that place, to that void, that place of, as Dr. James said, I know nothing. So what can I know now?
Right.
And so part of this is the dissolvement of the ego for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it's like the sympathetic nervous system.
Sure.
It serves us very well. The ego serves us very well. But what is available to us when we can let that go for a while? And that's what is the intention, like to get to that place, the ego, the thinking, cognitive mind,
Right,
steps back. Oh, from now, what's available to me?
Yeah.
And then we've talked before also, it's like people have different traditions and different tools that help them get to that state.
right,
Mhm.
In transcendental meditation, you have a mantra.
Right.
In the Tibetan monks, they chant and they om, but that's not their prayer. That's to get them in. That's their tool. Those are the incense to help get them into that feeling state, and it's that feeling state of what the prayer is. So this breath work is to help bridge you to get to that place where I'm like, okay, I'm open. What wants to be released? And that's what was talking about your congregant who shared about the screen, of a release of all this energy that gets activated, and simultaneously, and what wants to come in. What insights, what creativity, what wisdom is waiting for me. I'm there.
Yeah.
I saw. Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I just saw it as a closed door. That void. It's interesting. The void. You close. It's like that. You close the door to that you're releasing, and then all of a sudden, the plugging in isn't that we're actually going to look to plug something in. It's the closed door, and then the opening to some, because now that's over there for a moment, now you're free to see what has always probably been there. right?
Right.
So at the Global Truth Center, love only, forgive everything, remember who you are. To me, it's an act of remembrance. It's not about plugging back in. It's
Right.
getting away of all the other clutter
So that you could say, yeah.
so you can remember the access that we ever had. And that's the thing, these indigenous cultures, far more connected to the land, far more connected within their bodies, but also far more connected to the cosmos.
Wow.
And that spiritual community in Italy, Dominher,
Right.
very committed to, we are actually connected, and we're intended to be connected to the cosmos, to this planet, and within our own bodies. They're all different meridian systems that are interconnected. When we get to that place of interconnectivity or remembrance of it, because I don't think we're ever not connected.
Right.
Yeah. So
But
I want to
yeah.
know, because we're what would you say? You've done a lot of these, right? A lot of breathwork workshops, and I want to know, like, could you just give us an example of a profound experience somebody
right.
might have?
Because you've had a lot of them.
What can people expect, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And you've kind of said it already, but if in a nutshell, to the skeptic, to the person that's like, I don't know if I want to do that, what would you say?
I think it's a very individual experience.
Yeah.
There are times where I've done the exact same journey, and each time I have a different experience. Sometimes I have a deep emotional release, and tears will just flow. I remember doing one journey where simultaneously in one half of the room, there was a woman who just absolutely sobbing, an emotional release. And simultaneously at the other end of the room was a woman just laughing hysterically.
Mm-hmm.
So it's about a somatic release, tapping into the body. One of the universal experiences that people will say is, I feel lighter. I feel like I've let go of something. I don't know what it is. I've had multiple people say, I've been in therapy for 5 years.
Right.
And I love therapy. I love my therapy. It's been a great experience, but I have let go and release more in this hour and a half experience than I have in all of those years. So I think that's the biggest aspect. And for me, it's an honor. I get to hold space. I get to be the witness, to bear witness of these people having these very individualized journeys and experiences. And it's beautiful.
Yeah, and you're so good at it. I just
You always feel very
holding a whole room of 40 people in consciousness. You do it so well.
And safety is the word that came to mind when you're around. There's the safety quality that we all want with everything that we do. And but you may give us that feeling of real safety.
Yeah. So since we're into the practical aspects of spirituality too, so now they've done the journey, and how does it really integrate? You said people have release. Are they able to sustain it? Do they need to do it again? Do they need to incorporate breath work in their life so that they can keep in that state? Or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't like the word need. I think it's like any type of practice.
Right.
And sometimes it's a practice to maintain and practice. For me, it's, what's spiritual mind treatment, and like when you're sitting in counseling, it's to see a different perspective. It's perspective work. It's a shift, being able to see things differently as a minister or practitioner, to know the spiritual truth, regardless of what the relative condition may be.
Right.
And so to me, that's what this breathwork experience is. For many people, they'll have a shift in perception. They might realize something and experience something from a different perspective than they had in their ordinary day-to-day life. So there's an opportunity. That's where the work comes afterwards. It could be, and for some people, like, oh my God, that was great. That was amazing. Let me do it again. And they're one and done.
Right.
But there's an opportunity because you've opened up your subconscious mind. You've opened up emotions, feelings, ideas may emerge. So, I would say be gentle with yourself.
Right.
It's a great opportunity to journal, be aware of your dreams, see what comes up afterward, stay in conversation with yourself or with someone else. If some uncomfortable things come up, or emotions, or feelings, reach out to a minister or a congregant or a practitioner, or to get that support. One of the beautiful things about this breathwork, and with it being a somatic experiential process, is often it's bypassing the logical mind. So you'll be tapping into feelings and emotions.
Right.
And so it's about releasing those feelings and emotions through sound, through movement, whatever. Those feelings aren't necessarily tied to a specific story or specific incident. So again, it goes back to, what is treatment? It's a movement of energy. This is to move energy. And a lot of people will say, like, oh, I don't know where that came from. I don't know where this emotion or this sadness or this joy, this laughter came. I can't identify it. And that's okay. It's, again, that movement of energy. The integration of it may come over time, like I said, through your dreams, through journaling, to understand. And then for some people, like, I don't need to understand. I know I feel freer, lighter, more at peace. I feel less anxiety.
Right.
And that may be just enough. And then you had the perfect experience.
Yeah.
Well, I think the reason that question comes up is, when you're dealing with people, I love the question. I don't, but I'm being sarcastic. That when the question comes up for me, I'm just talking about it in a workshop. Now, what can I expect to get from this workshop? And it kind of pushes a little bit, because I know there's no answer that they want for that. I said, you will get from this experience whatever you give to this experience,
Right.
whatever you allow to this experience. And it's funny, because we're in a society now, in my opinion, that wants to know, what am I going to get? How long is it going to take? And
What's the guarantee?
What's the guarantee? If I do this, what am I going to get? And so it's a very interesting just statement for our world right now, and it's been this way for a while. But that's what I love about this type of work, or any workshop. What I just did one, yours, and it's like, though it's different because it was only a couple hours, is what am I going to get? What am I going to get? I'm going, well, like someone in the thing said, you couldn't possibly get everything from 2 hours of this, but what's the nugget? What's the one opening that's going to now open up another door and open up another door? And that's what's exciting about your work, is that we're never complete. We're never
complete. And it goes back to breath work.
You
get what you put in is directly commensurate with what your experience may be.
Right.
So it's like going to the movies. When you go into the movie and you're paying, what's this hour and a half experience going to be? Sometimes I'm scared, sometimes I'm entertained.
Right.
And, there's some people that come in and, like, they're not conscious, like really pushing their breath work. And they still have, like, oh my God, that was an amazing experience.
Mm-hmm.
I had a great experience. And then there are those who are so committed. I want to move something. I want to experience something. So I really am going to push my breath. And then that really activates and opens up what their experience is. This is a experience where you're at the driver's seat. You're at the steering wheel. You're being guided, but you've got the brakes or the gas pedal. You can activate and really commit yourself and press that gas pedal, like really have a deep experience, or have a gentle little ride and have a great meditation and sound experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that one of the questions we were asked too, and you just answered it, pretty much, is they wanted to know, what do I need to do to prepare? You know, it's like going on a road trip. It's like, what do I bring and what do I do? And I think that what I'm hearing is nothing except yourself and being present in the moment, you know.
Being present and being open and willing, I think it's helpful to
Have an
come in with intention,
Mhm.
you know, of what's your intention for the day. If you're committing to, you know, a couple hours and some money, I'm like, what do you want to get out of it? You know, of knowing that this is a prime opportunity to let go of some things. What's no longer serving you? What would you like to leave behind? Or what are you looking to tap into? What creativity? What's your intention? You know, and it's like the power of intention, the power of our breath.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah.
So, okay, so I think we're going to kind of start to wrap this. So it's
Perfect.
August 23rd, you're going to be here
Yes.
at 10 a.m. Everybody can sign up on our website, cslkauai.org. But the one thing I want to know also is how people can get in touch with you
Oh, yeah.
personally
Yes.
if they want to get in touch with you or want to find out where you're doing this work. If
And
they don't live on Kauai, just, you know, how
This
that works.
podcast, as you know, will
So-
be everywhere. So if it's in Los Angeles,
Absolutely.
especially with you on, you know, you're our first guest, by the way,
Yeah, you are.
I'm honored.
you're the first guest on our new podcast, From Woo Woo to Wow Wow. And you're
From
definitely,
woo woo to wow wow. And when we do it, I'm gonna make sure that the headphones are set to red in honor of Dr. Rita's red dress movement.
that red dress behind us. Yes.
The red dress and the red dress that she has on right now.
Oh.
You know, to be really honest, I'm very committed to sharing this practice with anyone that I know that's in need and finding different communities. In Los Angeles, the third Wednesday of each month, I offer it to our congregation at the Global Truth Center. I've done it with groups in Guatemala, in Maine, in Joshua Tree, some private conferences, but I haven't actively started promoting it. But I do have an Instagram, which is Just Breathe RX.
Just
breathe.
RX. So RX is like the prescription.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
So it's really the belief of your breath is the medicine. So just breathe. Like when I was having that anxiety, Jason reminded Eric, just breathe. Like that's the prescription.
I love it.
That how we can regulate it. So that's how
they can
I will be more actively reached.
You know,
All right.
I look forward to coming back to Kauai.
oh
I
my
know,
gosh,
we're
this
so
is going to be
So
great.
again, August 23rd at 10 a.m. here on Kauai. Dr. Eric.
Just bring a water bottle.
Yeah.
I would recommend if maybe bring a blanket.
And we have yoga mats, but yeah.
Yoga mat, a blanket, maybe a pillow. You're going to be laying on the floor. So we want you to be comfortable. You'll be well held and supported during the process. So come on with an open heart.
Oh,
And just so you know, Dr. Eric, that we know something about you, don't we? You are magnificent, and we cannot wait to have your magnificence.
we'll
up there.
see you on August 23rd, and we're going to close out here. All right.
Wow.
Wow.
Thank you for taking us
Thank you.
to wow.
And you can go now back to your other whatever is happening in your life.
Right.
I know that it's already taken care of. So, but I appreciate that.
This little void has allowed it to take care of itself.
Yep.
Yeah.
I like.
All right. Thank you, Eric.
Absolutely.
Dr.
Thank you. Love you guys.
Love you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Wow.
Wow. That was
So,
just wow.
yeah,
Talk
so-
about not only educational, but just heart.
No, I can't wait till the 23rd, and I always love seeing him too. So, okay, again, I'm going to say August 23rd, 10 a.m. You can sign up on our website, cslkauai.org, and you could even call our office 431-1700. That's 808-431-1700 and find out more about it. And
And if you have any questions for us, we have our own email, and
Yeah.
you can get in touch, and that'll be under the under us, I'm sure, with our graphic stuff.
yeah, just always going to our website. That's where all the information is. It's easy to find, cslkauai.org. And you can even find past Woo Woo Wow Wow podcasts there.
Yeah.
So before we say goodbye, next podcast is going to be called
How do you keep the music playing? You love a song and you want it to go on.
Right.
And on.
And subtext is what happens after you've been wooed and how do you sustain a relationship as a wow? How's that?
Woo! When's the last time you were wooed is what I want to know.
So thank you for joining us
Yes.
today. And don't forget, please subscribe.
Subscribe.
Yes,
subscribe.
like, ask us questions, and we will get them answered for you. All right.
We
So
will.
thank you so much again, and we love you. And what do we know about you?
You
are magnificent. Aloha.
are. Aloha. From woo woo to wow wow. Bridging the gap between the mystical and the scientific.
The journey from out there to in here.
Join me, Dr. Patrick.
And me, Dr. Rita, as we make the seeming intangible.
Tangible.
This show will expand your mind
Open your heart.
and make you say, wow.